Pick up your phone right now and look at your screen time. Look at the hours you spent this week mindlessly swiping through short videos, opening and closing the same 3 social media apps, and letting algorithms feed your brain cheap synthetic entertainment. Now try to remember the last time you sat down and read a book for 2 straight hours without touching your phone. Try to remember the last time you worked on a project, studied a complex skill, or just sat alone with your own thoughts without pulling out a screen every time 3 seconds of silence hit the room. If you're like 95% of people today, your answer is embarrassing. You feel it every single day. A foggy brain, a constant underlying sense of anxiety, and a complete inability to sit still and execute on the things that actually matter for your future. You try to force yourself to work, but within 5 minutes your brain experiences a physical itch for distraction. And whenever you try to fix it, you blame yourself. You tell yourself, I'm just lazy, I just lack willpower. I'll start fresh on Monday. Here's the harsh reality check nobody breaks down for you. Your focus isn't broken by accident, it was systematically dismantled. You are fighting against multi-billion-dollar tech corporations that employ the smartest behavioral scientists on Earth to keep your eyes locked on a screen for as many minutes a day as possible. Today we need to talk about how your attention span was destroyed and the exact steps you need to take to rebuild deep, unshakable focus from scratch. To fix your attention, you first need to understand the biological mechanism that was stolen from you, your dopamine baseline. Dopamine is not the chemical of pleasure, it is the chemical of anticipation and drive. It is the neurological engine that tells your brain, go put effort into that task because a reward is coming. For thousands of years, dopamine was hard to get. If you wanted a hit of dopamine, you had to hunt, build a shelter, learn a skill, or build a real-world relationship. The effort always came before the reward. Modern tech flipped that biological law upside down. Now you get massive spikes of novel dopamine with zero prior effort. You swipe your thumb, dopamine. You get a notification, dopamine. You watch a controversial video, dopamine. When you flood your brain with effortless high stimulation input from the moment you wake up, your baseline dopamine receptors downregulate to protect themselves. They numb out. Suddenly, normal, high-effort, low-stimulations activities like reading, coding, studying, or building a business feel agonizingly boring. Your brain panics because the effort-to-reward ratio of real life cannot compete with the artificial high of your phone. You don't lack intelligence or ambition. Your brain is simply in a constant state of overstimulation and chemical withdrawal. The biggest mistake guys make when trying to fix their focus is relying entirely on willpower. They say, starting today, I'm going to study for 6 hours straight through sheer discipline. They leave their phone right next to their keyboard, open 15 tabs, sit down, and try to force their broken attention span to perform through sheer mental tension. Within 20 minutes they break. They pick up the phone, scroll for an hour, and feel like a failure. You need to understand the fundamental law of human psychology. Environment will always beat willpower over a long enough timeline. Willpower is a finite daily battery. Every single time you look at your phone sitting on your desk and consciously choosing not to pick it up, you drain a percentage of that battery. By 2 p.m. your willpower pool is empty and your brain defaults to the path of least resistance. If you want to rebuild your focus, you have to stop fighting a heroic battle against your environment. Start engineering an environment where focus is the default choice. Friction is your best friend. If you want to stop a bad habit, increase the physical friction required to do it. Put your phone in another room, turn it completely off, or place it inside a drawer with a lock. Remove digital escape routes. Install website blockers on your laptop. If it takes you entering a complex password to access a distracting site, your brain will hesitate long enough for your logic to step back in. Clear your visual field. A cluttered desk creates a cluttered mind. Strip your workspace down to the bare minimum required to execute a single task in front of you. If you want your brain to enjoy hard, meaningful work again, you have to put it on a high-friction, low-stimulation diet. Think of your attention span like an injured muscle. If you break your leg, you don't go run a marathon the next morning. You put it in a cast, let it rest, and slowly rebuild its strength through deliberate physical therapy. Your attention span needs the exact same treatment. You have to teach your brain how to tolerate boredom again. Starting tomorrow, implement these 3 non-negotiable rules. The boring morning. For the first 60 minutes after you wake up, consume 0 digital inputs. No social media, no news, no messages, no podcasts. Drink water, stretch, eat breakfast, look out the window and let your brain wake up in peace. Monastic commutes and chores. Stop putting on a podcast, video or music every single time you walk to class. Drive your car, wash the dishes or lift weights. Force yourself to sit through mundane moments in complete silence. Allow your mind to wander and process its own thoughts. The digital sunset. Turn off all bright screens 60 minutes before you go to sleep. Replace doom scrolling in bed with reading physical books. This restores your natural sleep architecture, which is the foundational bedrock of mental focus. When you lower the baseline level of artificial noise in your daily life, your brain's dopamine receptors begin to reset. Suddenly, sitting down to focus on a single task doesn't feel like torture anymore. It feels peaceful. You cannot fix a broken attention span overnight, and trying to force 8 hours of monk mode on day 1 is guaranteed recipe for burnout and relapse. Instead, apply the principle of progressive overload, the same framework used in weightlifting, to your mental focus. Start small and build the muscle systematically. Phase 1, the 25-minute sprint. Set a timer for 25 minutes. Commit to working on one single task with 0 interruptions until the timer rings. No checking text, no opening new tabs. If a random thought pops into your head, write it down on a piece of paper and get right back to work. When the timer hits 0, take a 5-minute break away from screens. Phase 2, the 50-minute block. Once 25 minutes feel effortless, upgrade to 50 minutes of conscious focus followed by a 10-minute rest block. This is where real momentum begins to build. And then phase 3, the 90-minute deep working session. 90 minutes is the optimal human cycle for elite cognitive performance. 2 90-minute blocks of complete uncompromised focus per day will yield more actual output than 8 hours of distracted multitasking fake work. Track your daily sessions in a simple notebook. Watching your focus streak grow builds genuine pride and hard proof that you are taking control of your mind. Rebuilding your focus isn't just a productivity life hack to get better grades or earn more money. It is a fundamental battle for your freedom as a human being. A man who cannot control his attention cannot control his destiny. If your focus can be bought and sold by a social media algorithm for pennies, you're not a free man. You're a consumer being farmed for screen time. When you reclaim your focus, everything changes. You walk into rooms with a calm, grounded presence because your brain isn't constantly seeking cheap stimulation. You retain information faster, solve complex problems easily and build real-world skills that make you irreplaceable in a world full of distracted, unfocused people. While everyone else is stumbling through life in a permanent state of brain fog, context switching every 3 minutes and feeling perpetually overwhelmed, you move with surgical precision. Brothers, your time and attention are the most valuable assets you will ever own. You can continue handing them over to tech companies, letting your potential rot in a fog of cheap dopamine and soft choices, or you can take control today. Clean up your environment, cut out the noise, embrace the boredom, and rebuild your mind brick by brick. Stop giving away your focus. Take it back. Thanks for watching, brothers. Focus up and I'll see you in the next one.